The most special part about being a realtor to me is we are in the process of dealing with basically a family's most expensive transaction that they're going to do and take part of in their whole life. And we get to be a process of helping them find the right fit for them, for their needs, and where they are currently. And when you get someone to the closing table and they're in tears and thanking you, there's nothing quite like that. So my favorite memory actually ties into the very first question. I was helping a family that was out of state. The wife flew in to look at properties for the weekend, and we put an offer on their favorite property, and they didn't get it. So she had to fly back to Washington, D.C., and I had to do virtual tours. And I was nervous because I was doing videos, but we went under contract, got the home, and when they arrived for the first time to get their keys, they were both in tears, thanking me and hugging me, and were just ecstatic about being the perfect home for them. One tip I would give a home buyer in Orlando, Florida is have your pre-approval ready. The last thing you want to do is go shopping for homes, find something you love, and then when it comes time to get a pre-approval, either that house is already sold, maybe you don't quite qualify for as much, or maybe you qualify for more and you could have been looking at something even better. So talk to a lender, your local agent like myself. We can always recommend you a couple that are local that are great, but get that pre-approval ahead of time, especially in this market. One tip I would give a seller in Central Florida is when you're interviewing agents to sell your home, you want to make sure you have a professional that's not necessarily going to sell it as quickly as possible. And here's what I mean. In this market, you have lots of agents bragging about getting a home under contract within 2 days. Well, let's say you had it on for about a week. How many more offers could you have gotten in? So what's important to you? What do you need? And make sure your listing agent knows that. So one of my favorite things about living in Gotha, Florida is really the diversity of restaurants and food that we have available. Like we have a lot of hyper-local restaurants, which ask me if you need a recommendation. One particular is Yellow Dog Eats. It's this tiny little home that's been turned into a restaurant and they have amazing food. You gotta try it. But if you want hyper-local and great recommendations, give me a call. I like practicing martial arts, specifically Kung Fu and Ninjutsu. A lot of people know about the second one. But I love it because it gives me a sense of confidence when I'm out that I can defend my family if I need to. And that also, it's just fun. It's good stress relief. I was raised in Deerfield, Florida. Then I moved to Brevard until after high school. And then I moved to Orlando to attend UCF. My first job, I'm actually going to go into a little more detail here, is I showed up to a newly opened Atlanta Bread. I don't know if a lot of Floridians know what those are. Essentially, it's a Panera Bread. But I showed up to apply, and because it was hiring day, the manager took the application out of my hands and said, "You're hired, honey. Go ahead and start." So my favorite food overall is definitely spicy food. It doesn't really matter so much as a type of food, typically a barbecue, but I love spicy in general to a fault. I love chocolate. I'm addicted to chocolate. My favorite types of movies is definitely Kung Fu movies, and growing up, me and my dad had a tradition of watching Jackie Chan movies all the time. Always my favorite actor for sure, hands down, or hands up, Jackie Chan. So my music tastes vary a lot. In high school, I went to a lot of Warped Tours, a lot of Taste of Chaos. In fact, I remember not buying my ticket when I went with my friends, and they're like, "How are you gonna get in?" And I helped the band get all their equipment in. And so that they gave me like a free backstage pass, and I was in before my friends. But I also like Andrea Bocelli too, so it really depends on my mood. I think music is a very emotional experience, and it helps amplify whatever you're feeling at the current time.